Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and today we're going to look at some new notebooks and highlighters from Erin Condren. Welcome planner friends. If you're like me, you are all about trying out new notebooks, new office supplies, anything along those lines, planning, organizational items. So what I'm going to do is show you some new-ish things that I've gotten from Erin Condren in the last couple of months, and we're just going to go through in case you haven't seen them yet. Let's start with the smallest thing in the stack, which I have accessorized a bit. So this is actually two items that are new. The B6 Slim Notebook and then the B6 Slim Notebook cover. So I've paired this notebook with this cover just because I thought they looked really good together. And I will show you each one. They say that this has Japanese style paper and it's smooth paper. It is thinner than what you see in your Erin Condren coiled notebooks and some of the other notebooks that I will show you. It is a thinner paper, and I believe I know what they're talking about when they say Japanese style paper. Maybe it's the same sort of paper that you see in a Hobonichi, although I don't have a Hobonichi. But it looks like this, and I really just chose this one because of the cover. I loved how pretty it was, and I have not written anything here, but if I decide to write something, I will use a permanent pen because this is sort of a coated, canvas-y, textured, very thick cardstock, and I think that's what that's meant for, to write something on, like the topic or the year or your name. The back has the same design. If you open it up, it looks like that. On the inside, it is still decorated, but it doesn't have the textured look. It's smoother on the inside. Looks like that. B6 is the size, slim notebook. I went ahead and wrote my name, and it bled through a little bit. So I think what I used here was, well, I don't know what I used, but it was dark blue. And it was very inky. It looks like it was not a fine tip, whatever it was that I used. But it did bleed through a little bit. And I think if you are a fan of this sort of paper, this smooth sort of paper, then you are already familiar with what it will accommodate in terms of pens and highlighters. But I've used this for a few pages, and it's a new notebook, so I haven't used it for long. It has the perpetual calendar at the top of the right side only. So you would circle the month and the day or the date up there if you wanted to. And I paired this with a few accessories that I thought were good for it. This lighter weight bookmark stencil ruler is a good companion for the B6 notebook because you don't want to use something really heavy duty. If you have this ruler, it's also larger, but if you did the bookmark with it, it would be like that. So you could do it. But I think this is the ideal sort of ruler or bookmark to put with this one. And then when you get the cover, it has a suede look to it. But this is probably like, I don't know, it is a synthetic material that has this look on the inside that is meant to be probably like leather and suede, or the look of leather and suede. It's textured like that. Has two pockets here. It's not especially thick, but it does have some nice touches that kind of level it up in style, like the gold corner bumps and the little gold asterisk. And those are just on the front cover, not the back. It has a very simple plastic pen loop that fits the Erin Condren vegan leather gel pens well. And you could take the front and the back covers and put them into these, but I really like to see this. So I tried it with just the back cover, and I thought it worked great that way. So you can slide this thing out. It'll just fold out so your pen isn't interfering with your book. And then you can close it and leave it just like this, or you can do what I did and pair it with a coordinating elastic strap. This is an older one that is not super tight, and it's meant to fit larger books, but it would do the job of keeping this closed if I wanted to take it with me, put it in my purse. This is really an ideal size for taking in your purse, I think, for note-taking on the go. So this is, again, the B6 Slim Notebook. They call this Japanese style paper, and you can get a cover to go with it if you like. I think this cover comes in 3 colors, and I chose the navy one. And the B6 notebooks also come in 2 or 3 designs. Here's another new style that Erin Condren is offering, and it has the coil on the top, and it's like an O-ring coil that's on the top, doesn't go all the way across, it's just in 2 sections there, and you will choose the interior, and that will determine the design that you get on the cover, so you don't mix and match. So what I have is the Priorities notepad. It has this protective kind of frosted plastic sheer cover for the front to protect this. This is not very thick. It's cardstock, but not a super thick cardstock. And so that is meant to just protect that. And then you have perforated double-sided pages on the inside. So it's, I don't know if you can see, let me just kind of fold along the perforation so you can see that you could tear this off. But before you tear it off, you might decide you want to use the back, which is exactly the same. So the page layout is a huge checklist on the left side, then 2 boxes on the right side. The top one says top priorities, the bottom one doesn't have a header. Then you would circle the day of the week and add the date if you so choose. And as you can see, I used some highlighter and pen on the front here, and there was no bleed through. This to me feels like the signature paper, Mohawk 80 pound, that has a bit of the texture to it like the Life Planner. So I think this is high quality paper here. And I can't say for sure that it's Mohawk paper, but it sure is similar if it's not. The back cover is way more sturdy than the front cover. And I kind of wish that they were both sturdy, and I'll show you why. But this has an asterisk pattern, and the reason that I wish they were both sturdy is so that we could easily do this. And you can do this easily if you are in a place in the planner where the weight balances out on either side. And it's not a planner, it's a notepad, sorry. But if you're just at the very beginning and you want to prop this up so that you can look at it on your desk, then all you would have is the frosted cover and the printed cover, and it's not very sturdy on this side. So I figured out a little trick to get around that if you want to prop it up. Of course, you could just put it against something on your desk, but you could also just firm it up by putting one of these rulers. If you have a Life Planner, then you might have a ruler like this. Unless it's a newer one, then you have a stencil that came with it. So I'll try both, but that will firm up those front 2 pages there and make that was a very poor demonstration because it slipped out. Okay, so I'm not going to let it slip out that time. If you just kind of put that ruler so that it touches the desk, then this part does not cave in. Of course it might slip, but I had that open pretty wide. How's this? That's a little bit better. But once you progress through this, especially if you're not tearing out the pages, if you put equal weight on both sides, we take that ruler out, then it works fine as a prop up. But that's just the only design feature that I don't love about it, is that this is not as thick as I would like it to be so that it can be like an easel on my desk. And I said I would try this, so I will. Let's just put this in between those 2, and I'm making it so that it touches the bottom, and we're just going to flip 1 page. That helps to firm it up. You just want something that makes this back part stronger, and any object really, even a perpetual planner for that matter, like one of these. If you have one of these, you could just put that in there. That would also keep it from collapsing on you. The best features of this notepad are the quality of the paper. It does not bleed through with the highlighters and pens that I normally use, so it's really great for using both sides. And that is the other great feature of it, that it is double-sided, not single-sided, so you can get more use out of it. There may be, let's just estimate, I'm going to say there are 25 sheets, so about 50 pages, give or take a few. All right, and these come in 3 or 4 styles as well. They have different things written on them. I think you can get a plain lined one and a couple of other layouts on the paper. So I really would like plain lined the most, but I liked this art the most, so I compromised. And I love a good checklist, so I went with this one. The next notebook I know you've seen before, but you may not know that it has the option of a vegan leather cover now. This is an A5 notebook, and I've added a couple of accessories to this one also. I even set it up and did a reel about it on my Instagram because I love to have a notebook that I can just put anything and everything in. I added an index to the front in case I end up with a page that I want to refer back to. I'm going to have a meeting this afternoon, so I went ahead and made some notes about what I want to talk about and my next steps. I made a little chart here for things that I'm doing during my spring break, but it's just a lined notebook, and I numbered the pages, only the pages on the right, because I am not as much a fan of writing on the left. I went ahead and skipped numbers, and I only put odd numbers in here, but really I'm probably not going to use the left side except occasionally. But this is nice Erin Condren Mohawk paper. Well, it's Mohawk paper that Erin Condren uses. It has a sticker sheet, one in the back with event labels, and the inside of the vegan leather cover has an asterisk design, and it's a nice cover. It's not interchangeable. You are not going to be able to pull this one off. Other A5 notebooks, you will be able to pull your cover off unless you want to snip it or something, but I'm going to leave mine on. I think this one is probably called Champagne or something like that because it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, and ever so slightly it's textured, almost like leather. I added a gold pen clip to it because the thickness of this lends itself to being able to hang on to that gold pen loop, and these may not be in regular stock, but during sales you can often find them. Same thing for the metallic elastic strap. They're not always in stock, as you can tell just by the look of that. This is pretty old. But anyway, this is an A5 notebook with a vegan leather cover, and A5 notebooks abound with different layouts on the inside. Classic lined is almost always my favorite, but check out the other layouts to see if there's something you like better. Here's something that's going to be really fun to show you. This is something I was sent as an affiliate, and it says here, take note classic checklist notebook. It does not say classic, sorry. Take note checklist notebook. Look how cool this is. It's just checklists, 2 big columns of checklists. And I love doing brain dumps, and this is new to me, so I've only used the first few pages. But every morning, almost every morning anyway, I love to do a brain dump, and I don't want to waste any of this, so sometimes I have a short list, and then I draw a line, go on to the next list, and draw a line. So I dated those. That's 4 days worth. And then this is 2 days worth here, and then I just doodled on this page to try to capture my dad's handwriting, and all it is checklists. This is great. The pages are perforated. If you like to make checklists, you need to check this out and see if this is something that you would enjoy having. I suspect you would. And in the back, it has these throwback stickers. This is also a limited edition, special edition thing. So I have no idea if they are going to offer this long-term, permanently, or just during special events. But you can see it's the kaleidoscope design of stickers that were in the back of the Kaleidoscope Life Planner in 2020. And it has one of the sheets that I really miss. I'll show you in a sec. This one, because look at all the deco that you used to get in the back of your Life Planner. I love it. It's just like something a little bit seasonal for each time of the year. And I just like it a lot. And then you got the asterisk style event labels with gold metallic asterisks and a kaleidoscope double-sided pocket. So this is really neat, although I may be just showing you this after the fact when it's too late. I suspect that you might be interested in it anyway, just because you like this stuff. But I love this idea and hope that they will just start offering this as an item that you can get all the time instead of just during special events like warehouse sales. This is something they brought back during the recent, they called it the Lucky You sale around St. Patrick's Day, but do you notice something? You probably noticed 2 things that are throwbacks. Number 1, the black coil. Number 2, mid-century circles. You can probably still get the classic mid-century circles pattern on the website. I don't know that that would ever go away, but I like it. It's also got the throwback inside of this cover. Instead of the dashboard layout, it's just notes. And it says sketchbook. So this is something that they stopped offering in notebooks. So I was so surprised. This was sent to me as an affiliate. I was so surprised that they brought back this sketchbook. And I know that Debbie Pettit, who is another Erin Condren affiliate, misses this badly because she scrapbooks in hers, which is a great way to use this. Pages are perforated in here, and the stickers in this one are, you don't get as many of them, but I think you get some. You get like the neutral version of the asterisk stickers that are non-metallic. So this is like the notebook variety of the event stickers. And so this is really neat. And I think what they offered on the website, probably not now, but I'm just now able to film this, is that you were going to get a surprise interior. So I think this notebook, you maybe saw the outside, I don't know, but the inside was a surprise. So this is a great book for doodling. And, you know, I have grandchildren too. And my grandson, who the oldest one, the other two that we have 3 others. One's in heaven, and I'm always going to mention her. But we have 2 that are just little babies. They don't try to draw. But our 2.5-year-old grandson loves to draw on whatever he can get his hands on. So I think this is a great thing to have on hand when he comes to visit. Now this one is super cool. It's fatter. Can you see that that's like a life planner size coil? Maybe a 12-month life planner size coil. Look at this thing. It says classic line notebook, and that's not at all what it is. It's sort of a planner. So I think this is just a mistake right there, because look what it is. You got these shaded boxes for 7 days of the week. You can add the date up here if you want to. Boxes here that say weekly goals, top priorities, self-care, no header on this one, a nice big checklist. So you've mapped out your week, you've made some lists for the week, and then you can brain dump over here on this lined sheet, take notes when you're on the go if you want to, and you have so much habit tracking you can do. So it says habits, tasks, and routines. So what I would do is put my morning routine up here and then give myself credit every day that I did it for a week. It's a week's worth. And then maybe an afternoon routine and an evening routine here, or just AM and PM routine, whatever you want, or habits you're trying to develop. Look at that nice soft color palette there. Looks like the canvas color palette. And look, you get a ton of it. Well, let's see. In the back, it is a bunch of notes pages, so maybe I'm wrong. Okay, you get a bunch of notes pages here after the fact. You get about 15 to 20 sheets here of just notes pages. But then the rest of it is that layout with the week and the dashboard. I didn't show you the productivity page. So you have habits, a lined notes page, lined, and productivity. And on the back of the productivity is where it starts over again. So this is really enough to be like a planner. And it reminds me of another notebook they had that was A5 size that they actually called Weekly Planner. And I think it was about 6 months ago where they offered that. And I think it was a special edition. But it reminds me of that, but there are some changes to it because that one didn't have a habit tracker like this one does. Okay, I also want to talk about these new highlighters. These were in the box with my spring seasonal bundle, and I did not test them in there, but I have since tested them. And let me just tell you, they're my favorites right now. They are my favorites. For one, the colors are beautiful. I'll show you. Another thing is that they are triangle barreled, so they're not going to roll off your desk. They'll stop. They have the color name on the outside of the barrel. The chisel tip is super thick, and they don't seem to make ink smear. And I have not done any exhaustive testing, but let me show you what I've done. I'm just going to do it all over for you here. So let's just go in my current handy dandy notebook. And these are the colors right here. This is the green one and the pink one. And I wrote on top of not a ballpoint pen, but a gel pen. I used not a gel pen here. I used Pilot Precise here, which is rollerball. I used a Rytec gel pen right there. And I mean, look at it. Do you think it's smeared? I don't think it did. Like normally, that's what you expect. You expect to see some smearing. So let's just do a test here. I'm going to gather a few pens. I picked these up. So this is an Erin Condren glitter gel pen. This is an Erin Condren dual tip marker, an Erin Condren denim gel pen, a Papermate Inkjoy gel 0.7 gel pen, and a Pilot G207 gel pen. So let me just write with these real quick. Here's the Pilot G207, just now wrote with it, and I'm going to just take the pink one here and highlight over it. That did smear. Okay, that settles that one. Let's try the next. Papermate Inkjoy gel. Okay, let's look at that. Not as much smearing. The Pilot G2 smeared more than that. And I just wrote and turned on the camera. I did not wait or blow it dry or anything. And why did I write this twice? I don't really know. But that one is wetter than the one on the left. So this is a glitter gel. It's probably going to smear. Let's look at it. Honestly, I don't think it smeared. I don't think it smeared. The Pilot G2, I think, is the only one that has smeared so far. Okay, let's try the dual tip. Okay. Let's look at that. Looks pretty good to me. That's more of a felt tip sort of a pen. I think that did pretty well. This is the Erin Condren denim gel pen. Check it out. That one did okay too. So really just the Pilot G2 smeared with this, the pink. Okay, so let me show you another thing that I tried. Different color ink now, but one of my favorite pens is the Pilot Precise. This is like a V5 refill inside of an Erin Condren gel pen. But the ink is Rollerball Pilot Precise. So let's test that one. Take a look. And I mean, maybe my eyesight is bad, but I really don't see any smearing on that. And that was pretty inky. And let's try just a plain gel pen like the one that I tried before, which I think is, no, it wasn't that one. I haven't even taken the tip off of that one. This is a Rytec gel. Very fine tip. I think this is a 0.5. Yeah. That one didn't really write that well, but I'll still test it. Okay. Looks like that one smeared a little bit right there. The Rytec gel didn't smear this time, but it did smear over here. I don't know what the difference is, unless because it wasn't writing that well, maybe like a little clump of ink or something got in the way right there. Let's just be fair with that and try another. This is the same thing, just a different barrel. I've noticed that these fine point Rytec gels sometimes have a hard time with textured paper like this. They work a little better on smooth textured paper, but this one did fine. And let's see if it's smeared or will smear. That one did fine. So I think something, just a hiccup in the pen happened there where it let out a little extra ink. Now let's look at these other colors, and I will take, let's take a different color. Let's do like an Erin Condren dual tip in black, and I'm going to write it a bunch of times, or like 4 times. And we're going to test it with all 4 of the highlighters. And I just love how thick this is. So it covers the whole word instead of like it looks like it's striking through the middle or something. Look at that green, how nice. And this one is sand. The green one was called spruce. This one's called powder blue, but it's darker than a powder blue. Look at that. Okay, that's on top of an Erin Condren dual tip marker, and I don't see any smearing at all. So let's look at the bleed through. How about that? No bleed through, you guys. These are great. I love the colors, and I love that they don't seem to make things smear, except for the Pilot G2 and probably some others. It probably does, but how did it not smear the glitter of all things? Let's try another glitter. Is that the same one? It kind of looks like the same color, but it's not. I used this one. I think it changed color a little bit underneath of that pink highlighter. Oh, now that one did smear. That one did. Okay, take note. Not all glitter pens. This one, it didn't. We'll retest it, but EC glitter. Let's see. Up here, it didn't. It must have dried just a little bit longer. Let's try both of these again, because I wrote gel. Maybe that EC, but maybe that took up more time. Let's write with this one again. I think worst case scenario with this one, you just need to let it dry for a second. Let's just do that, and now try. That one's still smeared, but not this one. Isn't that interesting? This one smeared, but not that one. I can't explain it, but you have a good chance of being able to use these highlighters on top of your favorite pen and it not smearing, because the majority of these did not smear. So I'm very excited about that. That's usually not the case. You usually have to use a ballpoint pen in order to not smear. Like, you can be guaranteed pretty much of a ballpoint pen. This is an older EC teacher ballpoint. And I just know that's not going to smear. Let's take the blue one for fun. Okay, then we'll take a close-up look. Did not smear. Ballpoints are great for highlighting on top of, but these highlighters, you can highlight on top of all these, except Pilot G2, this glitter gel pen. So if you're going to use it with a glitter gel pen, test it first, just to make sure. But oddly enough, with this one, it didn't smear if you just let it dry for a sec. So those are great. I really recommend these, and I hope they come out with even more colors. But this is a great set. It comes with 4. I like them. If you want to find these on the website, they're called Pastel highlighters, and they are just really neat. They're the only highlighters that look like this on the Erin Condren site, and I'm a big fan. I hope they keep having these. And let me show you one more little accessory, since I noticed that I have this tucking out right here. This is a tabbed sticky note, so I could find my meeting page quickly today. But that came from this set right here, which will fit on any coiled Erin Condren book. So the tabs say noted, important, or nothing. And these 2 are lined. This one is blank. And they're just nice for marking your page on a temporary basis. I wouldn't use this for a long-term tab, but you could even like put a tab sticking out of the top if you wanted to. Find your spot. I think they're just called tab sticky notes from Erin Condren, and they pop on and off your coil. Just a little effort. If you put it on the top ring, then it can also be a bookmark. And you could put it inside like that. Sticks out just about the same as that tab. So these are all of the new goodies that I have tried out lately. Hopefully you can see them all. But here are some new cover designs also. So there's this one. Don't know what it's called. But if you just search interchangeable cover, you will find it. This one, I wanted to show you that you can get it personalized or not. So if you get it personalized, it'll have this block on it and your name or whatever your personalization is on the inside. And if you don't get it personalized, it will just have the pretty, I think it's called daisies, watercolor daisies pattern. And then this is a really neat geometric pattern. This is another watercolor floral type pattern in softer colors, and this is a really pretty purple one. So basically, when it comes to notebooks, you're going to find pretty much any sort of notebook that you need at Erin Condren. And I love these highlighters, highly recommend those. And if you have any questions about any of these, again, I'm really sorry if you are interested in one of these special edition notebooks, because the sale is probably over by now. And sometimes they offer the special edition things only during a sale. But keep your eyes open for next time if you liked those, because sometimes the special edition things end up being permanent things if they're very popular or if they hear about them in the feedback. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.